Good. Okay. Could you guys go around and introduce yourself to Allison?
I met Allison. Hi, I'm Shameen Patwa, Director of Student Support Services.
Okay.
Hi, Allison. I'm Victoria Nomorowski, and I'm the Director of the Wyndham Area Interfaith Ministry in Willimantic.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Ethel Manzares. We've met already. Before we get started, the little notice saying this meeting's being recorded, I can't get it off my screen.
Did you hit got it?
Yep. I did.
Hmm.
Oh, well. It is what it is. Maybe it'll go away eventually. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I thought I was on my iPad and I'm hitting it with my finger. Technology. Now that I made a fool out of myself, let's get started. Okay, call the meeting to order. Have you all had a chance to look at the minutes from January 10th and February 1st?
Not today, which means I don't remember whether I did or not, and I'm sure that they're fine.
Yeah.
Wait,
We have a-
January, you mean February 1st? Is that what you said?
yeah, there's a January 10th meeting also.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a quorum, so I think we can.
Do we have a quorum? There's three of
Yeah,
us.
the only two, Julia's missing and Will, so we have over 50%.
Okay.
So. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion, to accept the minutes. And Sadie wants to join too. She says she'll. The dog.
Well, I wasn't at the February meeting, so I think I have to abstain from that one.
Right. Yeah,
But other than that,
yeah.
I'm fine.
You're in favor of both of them, right, Shameen?
Yes.
Yeah, I am too. Okay, so file the minutes away as approved.
Okay.
Okay. Shameen has to leave by 4, so Allison, could we go right to the agency ARPA grants? Skip over the departmental update for now,
Sure.
okay? Okay, so how about the update on the status of the applications? I thought today we were going to review the No Free Shelter and TVCCA grants request. Remember, we sent it back to them originally because there were some problems with them. So
Mhm.
anyway,
So are we looking at them or are we tabling it for another meeting?
I don't know. I'd like to get them out of the way if we could, or
It would be helpful to me if you could just kind of fill me in even on just where you were with them and what we're looking for and what we're
Sure.
even potentially going to review. I do have the applications that Pat left with a couple of notes on it, but beyond that, I'm very much in the dark about kind of what this process has looked like and also knowing that there's a lot of money still on the table. So what do we want to, that's why I put on there the discussion about additional requests for proposals. So any information you can kind of give to me to fill me in would be wonderful.
we originally reviewed them back in February, and they were lacking some details. So Pat sent them off a note and asked them to redo their application. Am I right, Shameen? We were talking about it earlier.
We
So what-
had 2 that we kicked back just for, so specifically the TVCCA, we kicked back because we needed clarification on scope and time frame.
Mhm,
So then they resubmitted.
right.
The no freeze one. I only have, my notes only say that we returned it and there was something about like, I have my ratings. I don't have the notes from what other people said.
Right. Yeah, I have mine somewhere. I'll have to find them.
So I guess to your point, Allison, we reviewed the applications. We didn't get that many. And we awarded 1, I believe, to Wayne.
I didn't
And-
know that. Thank you.
Yeah, congrats. You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
And you would have
Thank you.
abstained anyway. But there was, the other two were kind of in limbo that I see here.
Right.
I don't think there were major overhauls to do for them to get the money. It was just a little more clarification.
I think they did clarify it. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at their,
I didn't see the no freeze one, so I'm gonna just look at my emails to find it.
okay.
If you all could even forward those emails to me, just so I can get caught up. If the no free shelter responded back with their corrections.
So, Allison, is Kathy Parmalu giving you those, like when she sends them to us, are you getting them?
Well, I wasn't here during that period.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really coming in, not even like I'm coming in at like the end of the stream, you know? So,
Right.
So I have the applications, I have the notes, but even just seeing the correspondence would be helpful. I'm sure Kathy has it as well.
I'll forward you what I can right now.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we have what we requested from them back, and that's what we need to take a look at and just make sure that we're now satisfied with what they responded with.
Mhm.
Okay. Could we do that today, Ethel, just to move this along, or?
Yeah, I think we can if if the three of us have reviewed it. I'm surprised Will's not here. And Julia, I had asked her for her notes and she was just way too busy to give them. So I couldn't get them from her, standable. But the three of us have reviewed it. Have you reviewed both of them, right, Victoria?
I looked at them. No, actually, I haven't gotten anything since the January meeting, actually.
All right.
So
Then we have to
I don't
be
have,
one-
do we have a score sheet? Didn't we
Yes.
have a score sheet and all of that? I didn't get those for either the no freeze or TVCCA.
Should I
Catherine,
propose that we make a special meeting then? Just
yeah, we
to
have to, yeah.
dedicate it to this? Because if you haven't had chance to look at it, and then I'm looking at the funding request, the initial TVCCA funding request was for 8,000.
Right.
And now it's for 25,000.
25,000, yeah, that's what I just
Yeah.
saw.
Put a new generator in and all the electrical work that needs to go into it and the slab and all that stuff that you put the generator on. In regard to this, the score sheets, Vicky, you should have had an email from Kathy. She attached the score sheets
Yeah, you know,
way
I'm
back.
sorry, it was a long time ago, so
Yeah.
I can dig through my records, but I did not realize this was going to be on today's agenda.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Allison, could you have Kathy resend the score sheet
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
to everybody, just so everybody has it? And Shameen,
And
you're
could she just forward the updated requests as well? That way, make sure that we're
All in
doing
one,
the
yeah,
most
yeah.
current.
okay.
And then we can, I'll have her also send out an email to get a special meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. And hopefully we can all meet and get those two out of the way, because I think they've cleaned up what they were gonna, what we wanted them to do, so. And if you haven't gotten the money yet, Victoria, it's because I don't think the town council, it hasn't been presented to the town council yet.
It's fine.
Well, we'll try to, if we get the other two done, and we got three of them to give to them, maybe we can move the process along, at least for these three. You
So
know?
do you want to go through the rest of the agenda and then dedicate a good solid meeting to the RFPs?
Yep, sounds good. Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Okay, you want to do your departmental update,
Sure.
Allison?
I will.
Hey, Will.
I will.
So I've been here about 6 weeks now. And I think I've met with most folks here in town. They actually set me up with these kind of 20-minute meet and greets. So that was really helpful. That's actually how I ended up meeting with Shamim already. But so I'm really just still getting a lay of the land here. But one of the first priorities was to get our vacancies filled. So we did have 2 vacancies within the department, one in youth services, one at the senior center. Our senior center position is officially filled and the person is starting on April 10th. And Katie and I are in hopefully the final stretch of also hiring a new youth services social worker. So that's all really great. And then we'll be fully staffed here in human services. As far as programming goes, we're just really focusing on, increasing our outreach efforts, creating flyers, brochures, information at the high school level, elementary and middle school level for them to know what our programs are and how to access those programs. We have a couple, Katie's getting ready for her youth programming for summer. We've started our Farms to Families program. We do our first distribution tomorrow evening. Camper ships open up in April, so we're working with Park and Recreation to see what that's going to look like this year. And then Renters Rebate also opened up on April 1st. So we've started to see quite a few folks coming in to process those applications. And on Thursday evening, I'll be presenting the Human Services budget to the Town Council. Actually, I should say our town manager presents the budget to the Town Council, and then I'll be there for questions and answers for Human Services. No major significant changes, just a couple slight tweaks, but I don't anticipate anything. We're certainly well staffed, so we're not asking for any new positions, so it should be a fairly straightforward presentation for Human Services. And that's all I have on my department update, unless anybody has any questions for me. Oh, Ashley, you're muted.
Do you have the name of the senior center new hire, or is that still pending?
No, she's starting on April 10th, and her name is Kristen Urcanti. So that is a nutrition coordinator position. So that is a 30-hour week position to help with the Maple Road Cafe and with Meals on Wheels.
And then the new YSB social worker?
We are not in the, we've done interviews, we've identified a candidate, but we're not, we haven't yet offered. Yeah.
Okay, my question for you in terms of the budget, has the town council decided how much money they're allotting us in terms of the regular grants? The town has not the ARPA grant now, but the town has a bunch of money that they allot us to award grants to various agencies. Do you know how much of that is?
I do not. No.
Ethel, was that 75,000 somewhere?
Well, Pat wasn't sure, I don't think. I think that was a number they threw around, but if
So-
you verify that, Allison, with the town, with the council, that'd be great.
Yeah, I definitely will. I mean, I did, when I was just kind of digging around, I did find the, revised timeline process that you all put forward. And on this, it says we wouldn't find out until April or May what their budget decisions were. It looked like maybe the objective was to try to shorten up the timeline, right? There was a big gap between when we would review applications and when agencies would actually receive their funding. That's kind of what is that correct?
No, what they did in the past was we would get the applications, we'd make our recommendations, but we never knew how much money we had. So this time around, we were supposed to know. I think Pat was going to find out how much money they were going to allot us, so that when we are awarding the grants, we have some idea.
Yeah, it looks like though, I will definitely, I'm not sure, probably this budget meeting might not be the time. It might come up, I'm not sure, but
Okay,
it looks like according to this, and this is all I have, it says that they would make those decisions in April or May. So
okay, great.
we're just there, but certainly I can. Do you know how much they've typically allotted? Did you
No,
say
I don't
75,000?
remember. It was.
Was it
Does anyone remember how
65,000
much?
last year?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was it 65,000 last year?
Yeah, something like that, I think. But you didn't know about it. We made our recommendations and that was that. So we don't know if we exceeded the 65 or we're under it,
I think, Allison, one of the things is this small but mighty group pushes money, and sometimes it's a crazy amount, and we don't have a lot of guidelines. And
Yeah.
so I think in the past year, we've really tried to create some parameters for it. And, the more the merrier. We need to have parameters, because you know, otherwise it seems very arbitrary.
Mhm.
Yeah, agree. Okay. So it sounds like you would put out a request for proposals. They would come in, you would take it case by case, make decisions, present it to town council, and then they would either fund in whole or cut, and it was just kind of, it was a different amount every year.
Right.
Okay, all right, got it.
And this has been going on, they've been doing it this way for as long as, I can
Forever.
remember. Right, Bill? Will?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But they were on board with this new proposal of really giving the committee a set amount of money and saying, you have 75,000, Human Services Advisory Commission now put out a request for proposal. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Okay,
We don't know because we never received any guidance from them. You know,
okay.
I think we were waiting for Pat to tell us what they had decided. And now it's you that we're waiting for.
All right. Well, now I know. And so now I will look into it.
Welcome aboard.
Yes.
I think by history, town council has been looking for it to be as structured as it can be. So I think all of the recommendations that this group has kind of said, we want to know what the number is. My guess is maybe town council is giving you guys the number after the budget passes. And that might be kind of their amount of funding, if that's kind of what's on that flow sheet of, okay, we have a budget. So now we know how much of that budget includes agency grants. Now do the RFP.
Okay. Let's hope, okay, good.
That would be my guess anyway.
Yeah. And the sooner we can get that done, the sooner they give it to us, the sooner we can put out the RFPs and look at them.
Right.
Okay, good. Anything else for us, Allison?
Oh, I think that was it, unless anybody has questions for me.
So we're gonna have a special meeting to talk about the RFP, you know, the 3 applications. And what about getting additional RFPs? Does anybody have any idea? Is that how we can do it? I just can't believe nobody's got all this money and nobody's applying for it.
We used to have a ton of them.
I'm wondering if we have to do another push and send out information
Yeah,
to places. So I think that was the idea. I will say I'm a little lapsed. I was at a MAC meeting and said I would pass out the applications because I think I'm trying to think who was there, and you know, there are people who could probably apply for this grant in that
Right.
environment too.
and I've been telling people to, you know, go to the town site and get the application for the ARPA money, so nobody's taking us up on it. We're trying, but, you know.
And the OEC actually just released some ARPA funding to school readiness sites to apply for separately from this. So my guess is that center specifically wouldn't be eligible to apply for these ARPA funds since they're
Right.
receiving ARPA funds eligible through the OEC, but
You know, who I was thinking of was, I think Kathleen Kreider was on an agent
Oh,
and
good.
access, and I was thinking,
Right.
I actually called her out in that screen and said, Kathleen, why aren't you applying? And she said, I didn't know. So,
Right.
so that's kind of like places like that, I
Okay.
think should be able to do it.
we can push it tomorrow night at MAC.
On 2 counts here, we have the Nonprofit Alliance of Northeastern Connecticut. And Allison, I think that's something that you might be interested in attending to get to know some of the providers.
Yeah,
They're mostly from Willimantic, but oh my goodness, who was our last, who was in your position? Whose place did you take?
Pat Schneider.
Pat Schneider.
Pat, I couldn't think of her name. Okay, so Pat's predecessor, Kevin, used to go to those meetings regularly, and it was really great having that connection between Willimantic and Mansfield. And I think if you were involved in whatever I can do to help facilitate it, we can certainly get more requests from agencies here that certainly serve people from Mansfield.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. Do you know, are they a monthly meeting?
Well, no, it's not monthly, but if you send your contact information to me,
Okay.
I will make sure that, I think Sue Murphy is coordinating them now, or either her or Lee Duffy from Click. So I'll make sure that it gets out to whoever's keeping the list.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And another-
I don't know what kind of, outreach we did do, but I know I was very involved in the Hartford Foundation Community Fund. So there are 29 towns. They gave every town funding to help distribute. And in smaller communities like a Summers or Vernon, it was Vernon's not small, but Summers was. It was a little challenging to tap into nonprofits and do outreach. So we did pull, every single nonprofit status. We worked with the town clerk to get that information. And even if we thought it wasn't somebody who would typically apply for the funds, and then we sent out postcard mailings to every single one. And we got like 15 applications in a really small town. So I'm not sure what kind of outreach was done, but it seems like we need to bolster it quite a bit. If Access Agency didn't know about it, being one of our largest nonprofits in this area, that's telling that it didn't hit enough places. Word of mouth is obviously great, but so I'm more than happy to kind of help explore that and put together a list of nonprofits, area nonprofits, and maybe with this nonprofit alliance as well, Victoria, we could put together and really do a thoughtful and targeted mailing to all of them. Because it is so much money to be sitting. I mean, what an amazing opportunity. I know, yeah. So,
And a lot of those nonprofits that are based in Willimantic actually do serve a lot of Mansfield. So.
right. So they would be
Okay.
eligible, right? Based on what I'm reading, is that if it was a project to benefit Mansfield residents, they can apply even if they're not based here. So,
Right. Okay, well, good. So we'll wait to hear about dates for a special meeting. And
great.
is there anything else anybody has? Under new business?
Welcome aboard, Allison.
Yes, exactly.
Thank
Nice
you.
to
Glad
see
to be
your
here.
face.
Do we ever meet in person? I know that
We
came up.
should meet in person. That
Yeah,
would be,
I was emailing with Kathy today, and I was going to bring it up to everybody. Do you all want to meet in person? I thought we were meeting in person today.
So did
I
I.
was relieved today because the 4 o'clock meeting is easier for me to get to, but I think if we're going over grants, it was nice that time when we met and we went through it and had a conversation, so that would be a really
the
good thing.
The special meeting should be in person then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
great.
I actually drove over to the town hall today to go to a
Oh,
meeting.
no.
Oh, no.
That's why I'm late.
I almost did that, but I said,
And I looked all over the town hall and nobody was there.
Oh, I'm
now you know
sorry.
why.
I guess I should read the agenda, huh? I guess that.
Well, I
would-
read it too, and I thought, that's why I emailed Kathy earlier, because I wasn't sure.
No, I prefer in person myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
Zoom is easier, but in person, when you're talking about money, I think it might be better.
yeah.
Me too.
And just under new business, I had put under there the membership inquiry, just to let you all know that we did have somebody inquire about joining Human Services Advisory. I did invite him to come to the meeting today. I don't think he was able to join, but and I'm blanking on his name, I apologize, but we did have somebody interested. They'd reached out to the town clerk, and
Good.
so do we have actual vacancies, or is it just kind of, we don't have a cap, or?
We do have vacancies.
Okay,
We actually have slots, and it's in that whole package of who sits on what board. Like, we have slots from a representative from a nonprofit, and a
Okay.
pastor, and a disabled person, and those types of things.
We,
But I don't know where all of that is capped.
yeah,
So
I think the town clerk has all that. We revised the membership because we couldn't fill the spot. We couldn't do the disabled, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. So we revised the memberships to make it easier for us to try to have a quorum, because I can't tell you how many meetings Will and I have been to where there's been no quorum.
Hmm.
So anyway,
Okay.
that's that.
But that's something we should be looking at, I guess, you know, now that we're in the new year and seeing if we have other people that to bring on to the committee.
Right. And you should probably think about another chair too. I've been chair for so long, you know, it might be time for some.
You're doing a good job, Ethel. Don't worry about it.
No, I am gonna worry about it. But anyway, we did revise the, you know, the parameters of who we wanted and stuff like that, so. And Katie, you remember that?
I remember doing it with youth services. I don't think I was at the ones when you guys were doing it for this one. But youth services is on the committee for a committee's agenda to finalize what we had been doing since
good.
2018, at least for April. So like, that'll be done.
Alrighty. Is there anything else? If not, we can have an adjournment and Shameen can get to her meeting, and
Okay, I'll make a motion.
is there a
I
second?
second, yeah,
All right. I guess. we'll
Thank you.
adjourn.
okay.
Thank you.
And have a
Take
good,
care, everybody.
Allison, if you have any questions for us, just email us.
okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Victoria, I'll send you that email to connect and get connected with the nonprofit alliance.
Excellent, thanks.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye,
Okay,
everybody.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.